What it do, people? It's your boy Derek on the mic. It's been a little while since I've had a show. I didn't have one last week, and I've been very, very busy. Today's actually one of my first days I've actually been able to actually do this. But before we get started, guys, go ahead and subscribe and like below. We do need some subscribers. Trying to get to that 200 range still. But without further ado, we'll just dive into the show. So the mystery team that was interested in trading for Jonathan Taylor before Jonathan Taylor got put on the PUP list earlier before the season started in week 1 happened to be Green Bay Packers. And there's some rumors out there saying that that the Colts were asking for quite a lot back in return, and that's why that there was never a deal done. But I guess Christian Watson was part of that discussion. I like that a lot. I would love to have Christian Watson on our team paired with Pittman and Pierce and some of the other guys that we got on the roster. Well, I think that'd have been real good. Get some other draft picks out of it, of course. I just want to do like a player-for-player swap. I wouldn't like that. But I don't think that they wanted to budge because I think they want like a first-round pick and a couple other stuff too as well. And I've also heard that they want a wide receiver plus some picks too as well. Like they want a haul. So there might be a deal that still gets done. I keep hearing like Miami and Jonathan Taylor are linked together. So maybe if he comes off the PUP list, people will check him out. Right now on his Instagram, this is what he posted earlier onto his story. So looks like he is ready to go. And happy birthday to somebody. But yeah, so right now, I mean, that's what it's looking like. Let me see if there's any other news on that. I got a lot to cover today, but me, honestly, I don't even think that he gets traded. I think that he stays with the team. Somehow the Colts, figure it out and take care of him. As of right now, he's on the PUP list, or for those of you that know, the physically unable to perform list, due to an ankle injury. He's supposed to pass his physical. Someone said they could pass it. I think it was like last week or the week before. And he's planning to play as early as week 5 when he's eligible to come off the PUP list. So, and I think there's a team. Not a team. They said something about him. If he. No, maybe I don't. Something about him coming off and like it'd be a perfect time to give them an ample amount of opportunity to trade Jonathan Taylor. If they have till week 5, what is it, week 2 right now? I mean, they still have a couple weeks to find a trade partner to get rid of Jonathan Taylor. If we trade for Christian Watson, I mean, they're both injured players right now. So I just know that he's going to come back, both of them, both those players, and they're going to ball out. I just don't know, like our offense was pretty decent against the Jaguars, but we couldn't run the ball for shit. So I know we're definitely going to miss Jonathan Taylor. But we also get Zach Moss back this week. So let's see how Zach Moss plays. If Zach Moss can carry the totes, and then maybe get rid of Jonathan Taylor and get some real big compensation back, like maybe Christian Watson, which would be dope, or some other good wide receiver and some draft picks. But if he doesn't do good, Zach Moss, then I would like him to stay because it's only going to help out Anthony Richardson. Also, Anthony Richardson, there's a stat on him that I just read that he's the 7th different quarterback to start an opening day for the Colts in the past 7 seasons. And I don't know if I have anything on that. I just know there's been like Andrew Luck. There has been Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Jacoby Brissett, Scott Tolzien, and I think there's another one. Scott, Jacoby, Carson, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was the last one. That's what it was. But yeah, I think he did pretty good in his very first game. I think he ran for a touchdown and ran for a touchdown. I'm trying to think. I think he had over 108. I think he had like 200 something yards. He did have an interception. I think he's going to start realizing he can't throw in those tight windows like that. Or you can't like fake anyone out. And I think he's realizing some other things too, being that first one. Someone's already told him welcome to the league, rookie, because he's got that bone bruise already. And I think a reporter asked him if he's going to continue to slide a little bit better instead of trying to take so many hits. And he said, yeah, he thinks he's going to go ahead and do that. He's 240 pounds, but damn, dude, can't be going out there and putting your body on the line every single play. Try to extend your health as long as you can so you can play for as long as you can. Let's see. Now, I'll move on into baseball real quick. So I saw this article about the Angels and their late season salary dump and how what they're doing right now, other clubs could start to follow. And if I remember correctly, I think I still have the article pulled up. Essentially, what they do is like they have players that are on their team, whether they're like really good veteran players and they have all their little rookies that are on their team and they have some in the farm system. What they've been doing, if you're not good by the time, the trade deadline comes, then what they do is they just cut you from their team and you go on this little list. And other teams have, I think it's like a waiver essentially, but like other teams that are in the Major League Baseball can now try to acquire that player. They acquire that player. They also acquire that player's salary, and then that team doesn't have to pay for it. So you take that money off the books, and it saves you money. And then all you got to do is promote one of your guys that are in the farm system and then move them on up into the big leagues. And they've been doing it that way and saving a lot of money that way. It's kind of like a little loophole in the system. It was never really ultimately designed to like that, but that's kind of what they've been doing, and other teams have are thinking about following. Lately, what I've seen in the last couple of years is that teams that are trying to make it to the playoffs and whatnot, they'll sign guys like that when they get cut and just add them to the roster. And at the trade deadline, they're also trading to try to make their team better too as well. So we shall see how this unfolds. I feel like it's a good loophole though. You don't want to play that player, you're not going to be doing good and you're focused on next year or whatever. Hey, get rid of these players. The thing is though, if these players go unclaimed and then they go back onto the team again, and then the team has the decision to either, I think, cut them send them down to like AA or AAA or whatever. I think it's AAA. And I don't think they have to pay him or something like that. Or the person who's getting sent down can agree to either go down, or they can say no and they just cut ties and then they don't owe any money to them or anything like that. I think it's one of the two. It's either they just cut ties, you don't have to pay them, dude, and then they just have to go find another team to sign with, or they get sent down to the AAA and they still get paid what they're supposed to get paid. So something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Or vice versa. Like they don't get paid if they get sent down to AAA, and they get paid if they get cut and sent to a different team or something like that. So I want to talk a little bit about Deion Sanders. This man is kind of inspirational. He did like a major overhaul of his roster when he first came to Colorado. And I'm looking to see how many players it was that he booted out of there and brought back. But I want to say it was like 80-something. They have 53 incoming transfers, including roughly 24 since the end of spring practice. I want to say they had like 80-something. Like they've had like a lot of players leave the team, and they've brought in a bunch of players. He's also got a son that plays on the team, two of them actually. And then they're talking about culture, and he doesn't know what that means. He said he just does everything he can every day to maximize their potential. He's like, I don't think you have to have unity whatsoever. You just have to have good players, he said. So he doesn't believe in like the culture, talk and whatnot. He has got a couple good players though. Last week, or no, it might have been the week before, because I'm still 2 weeks behind. But Travis Hunter, who is a two-way player on the Colorado team, and he his very first game got one interception, and then on the offensive side, he had 119 receiving yards for 11 receptions. So he did exceptionally great for his very first game. And then I think, the quarterback, Shador Sanders, I'm probably botching this, and I'm sorry if I am. He went 38 for 47. He had a school record of 510 passing yards through 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And then he also balled out again last week. He's in the running for the Heisman, and I think Travis Hunter is too, but I'm pretty sure Sanders is. And, a lot of people were talking smack about Deion Sanders before the season started. They were saying all types of things. He doesn't even have a captain. How like most teams pick a captain. He's got what they call leaders and dogs, and each player will have like an L or a D on their jersey. He's doing other things like handing out sunglasses. I think I have a video of that. I'm trying to look for it real quick. And that's to the entire team. That's not to like individual players. I do have that. Okay, let me share that with you. I don't think I can share the audio because I want to get kicked off, or booted off or whatever. But yeah, this is him. He's talking to him real quick, and he's showing off these glasses. And he's like, this is why I'm giving them to the entire team, essentially. And here they all come in, and they start handing them to him. And they're all rocking those new glasses. And then I was watching the Pat McAfee show today, and Pat McAfee also got himself a pair of shades. He's been a fan of Colorado. The reason I've been a fan of Colorado, it's weird. It's like I watched the Florida Gators with Urban Meyer. It's on like Netflix. There was like a thing, and the hype that he kind of built as he was like progressing in. And I hate how they make him a good guy. They need to talk more in that documentary about the Aaron Hernandez scandal and all the other bad shit that went down over there, and the reason why he actually left. But like all the hype that was building around him, and like the pressures that were building on him, and all this other stuff, like I was thinking about that, and then I'm watching Deion Sanders go out there, and that man just sounds like a motivational speaker. The way he's talking to his team, the way he keeps his team hyped up, the way he goes into every single game, he's always got to have like a reason to beat them really bad. Like people are just talking smack about him, and they're just responding, saying that they couldn't do it. They want to get the national champs or the first week against TCU, and they were in the national championship last year, and they beat them. They beat them bad. Then they went out last week, beat the team that they beat last week. I forgot who it was, but whooped them. They're going to go against Colorado State this week, and Colorado State's head coach is already talking smack, talking about how grown adults were told when they were younger, and he was told by his mama that you don't wear sunglasses and a hat or something like that when you're talking to adults or something like that, which it's stupid. Like people are going to say stupid things, but now he just gave them a reason to go after him. Deion Sanders already made a couple of videos about saying that it's personal now. He's using that personal word because he wants to use that as motivation and fuel for his team. So, I mean, I'm all for it. I'm glad that he's doing what he's doing. He's kind of changing like the face of college football. Like he's changing a lot. It's going to be pretty wild if they actually do make it to the national championship, or even into that conversation in general. I mean, this team was 1-11 last year. So if he can, I mean, he's already got them double the wins that they got the previous year before. I mean, they got 1 win. He's got 2. They're 2-0 already on the year. But if they keep winning and they keep balling out, they're going to get put into that conversation. I think they're 17th ranked right now, or 18th. I'm pretty sure it's 17th. But after this weekend, if they dominate again, they're going to shoot up those rankings. So we shall see. Steve Wilks had some interesting things to say. He said that the execs gave him a burner phone to communicate with the suspended general manager. I think I have a thing on it in here. There it is. Boom. Okay. Bleacher Report talked about this. Okay, so former Arizona Cardinals head coach and current San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator Steve Wilks reportedly testified that a number of team executives, including himself, were given burner phones in Arizona to communicate with Steve Keim, or Keim, I don't know how you say it, with the former general manager was suspended during the 2018 season. Tish Thompson of ESPN cited a deposition transcript that was part of the ongoing arbitration complaint filed by former Cardinals vice president of personnel Terry McDonough against the team and owner Michael Bidwell. McDonough alleged racist and discriminatory treatments of employees and the use of burner phones. He's calling it outlandish. But yeah, he said, me being a first-year head coach, I felt uncomfortable from the beginning that I worked this hard to get to this plateau and this opportunity. And then when I was presented with the situation with being unethical, Wilks testified. He was fired after a 3-13 record in 2018 and was hired after his only campaign as the head coach. This guy was suspended for 5 weeks. They fined him $200,000 after he pleaded guilty to an extreme DUI. Extreme DUI? The hell's an extreme DUI? Looking that up. Hold on. What is an extreme DUI? The category of DUI applies to a person with an alcohol concentration of 0.15 or higher. First offense, you'll be jailed for no less than 30 consecutive days with no eligibility for probation or suspended sentence and fined not less than $2,500. That's in Arizona. Oh, shit. That's where he lived. Wow. First offense, you will be jailed for not less than 30 consecutive days with no eligibility for probation. So you'd go to jail for 30 days straight. He pled guilty to that. But I don't even think he served jail time. Interesting. Very, very interesting. You know what happens when you have money. You don't have to go to jail. Okay. That's pretty crazy. It doesn't say anything in here about him going to jail. Huh. Unless that was the time that he was suspended when they suspended him. How long did they suspend him for? They said $200,000 for 5 weeks. I mean, that's technically a month. Maybe he served his time during that 5 weeks, because that'd be technically more than 30 days a little bit. Interesting. Anyways, moving on. I'm going to go back to the Jets, or not back to them, but over. I thought I was talking about baseball for a second. I don't know. Sorry, the stone didn't miss me. Jets still love Breece Hall, and they plan to have him overtake Dalvin Cook in the second half. But in that first game that he played against the Buffalo Bills, he actually looked really damn good. They're going to increase his pitch count, I think, or play count, or whatever you want to call it, for Breece Hall in this next game. But gradually, more and more as the season progresses, they're going to start to give him the whole entire thing. So that's a little concerning for some of you Dalvin Cook guys who have him in fantasy. So I'd watch out and monitor that situation. Maybe a week that Dalvin Cook really pops off, you could sell him for pretty high. But he's still a really good player. I don't know. This is like a two-headed monster, so we shall see how this all is. I think I have Breece Hall in one league. I just don't have Dalvin Cook whatsoever. So I like the fact that Breece Hall is going to be balling out. A wild stat that I just saw the other day is the Colts. They don't have any players on their roster that are over the age of 30. They're all under the age of 30 on the 53-man roster. I thought that was pretty crazy. Mike Evans set a week 1 deadline to receive a new contract from Tampa Bay. No deal was done, so that's indicating the wide receiver will look to play elsewhere in 2024. That'd be nice. I'd like him to come over to the Colts, having Anthony Richardson throw him some bombs, and having Michael Pittman. Like, I feel like those two would mesh well together. They kind of remind me of each other, honestly. But yeah, I can see some teams he probably would go to, those like Patrick Mahomes. I feel like that because they need some wide receivers over there. I feel like they don't really have anyone right now, especially that first week that they played. Like, trying to think of another team I think that he would do well on is maybe even the Eagles if they could sign for him. I know sometimes they do that, overpay for players. Buffalo Bills. Maybe if they can't get a deal done with Higgins over there in Bengals, maybe Evans goes there. I don't know. I can see him going to a bunch of teams that he's going to try and win a championship for. Oh yeah, there's a college football team. I think this was week 1. Let me see. This guy was pretty much crying. I felt bad for him. Here it is. Consoling Butch Jones, Justin Parks. They were getting whooped 73-0 in the fourth quarter. I'm like, damn, just call it a game. I feel like if you haven't scored any points and you've gotten to a certain period and it's like the fourth quarter, I feel like there should be like a mercy rule. Just end the game. End the damn game. 73-0. That's how bad I used to beat Danny in Madden all the time. Kyle Rudolph retired after 12 seasons in the NFL. Props to him. He's an exceptional player. He did really, really well throughout his career. I think he was on the Bucks the last couple seasons, and then he was also, on the Vikings for a long time. But yeah, really great player. Cooper Kupp is visiting with a specialist in Minnesota for a hamstring issue. He's targeting like a week 5 return. I think he's currently on IR right now. It's really terrible for everyone who drafted him, in the first round. He's definitely not putting up first round production right now, I'll tell you that much. But when he does play and he's healthy, he is one exceptional player. So hopefully he comes back healthy and he starts balling out for everyone's fantasy teams. But in the meantime, the younger Rams wide receivers that they have kind of went off. Puka, who I just picked up in fantasy, but he has like an oblique injury now. I'm like, come on, fuck. I just wasted my number 1 waiver wire pick on him. He had about 21 points in fantasy. And Tutu Atwell, he had about 18 points in fantasy. And I think they're both available about 95% on Tuesday in most Yahoo leagues. But yeah, I got Puka on my team. I didn't pick up Tutu. Puka was just balling out. And there's some statistics I saw that like we're putting him up there with like some high elite players that have played in the NFL. So hopefully the oblique injury is not too serious and he can play through it and he can ball out and make a bunch of money. I mean a bunch of yards and then touchdowns. Let's see. Chandler Jones. Yeah, let me talk about Chandler Jones. There it is. Wow. Chandler Jones. He says, I don't want to play for the Raiders if my head coach or GM, if that's my head coach or GM. He's like, I want Patrick Graham, Ivy League nigga. Let's see what else he said. And they had direct contact to my baby mama, and we ain't been together for 5 years. I'm gonna mute this for an hour. Okay. All right. Some lady reporting to her about how I was at work when I don't even talk to her about work or anything in personal. Like, how y'all know my baby mama? He's provoked. And he says, this is some proof. Love you anyways. How do you expect me to play this season? I can't even get the general manager on the phone. No, this is I think Josh McDaniels. Thanks for that portal. Should I call Josh or will he not pick up either? Wait, maybe this is not Josh. I don't know who this is. Maybe the owner. What y'all bring me to Vegas to play with me? I sent this to your roomie. It's a shame that I am top athlete with 112 sacks in the NFL and I have to go to a local gym to work out during the season for no apparent reason. This is wild to me, Josh. And you need to do what's right. So I think these were all to Josh, and then this was to somebody else. Let me get out of here real quick. I don't know if I clicked on all of them. They won't let me in the building. So they pretty much are not letting Chandler Jones into the building over there. And he didn't play last week. So I don't know what's going on over there. But he was going off about not being able to work out at the Raiders gym. Really, really mad. Oh, let's see. The owner of the Washington Commanders, Josh Harris, they said that the ship has sailed for people trying to return the name to Washington Redskins. He said, we're about the future. And at a dinner last night, top partner Mitchell Rales weighed in on a potentially going back to their old name. But yeah, they're not going back to their old name. They're talking about the future. They are going to be changing the name. They don't like the Commanders. I don't think anyone really liked the Commanders. That was kind of random. I mean, I feel like out of all names you can come up with, Commanders was just like, what? But yeah, so hopefully they come up with a good name here soon. It's probably going to be within the next 2 years, if I had to guess, is when they're going to change that. But they're going to take their time and pick one that's right. A cool thing that I saw over the weekend is Pat McAfee says that he's going to be joining First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp's also on that show now, but he's going to be doing that every single Tuesday. So that's going to be a very good show. I watch the Pat McAfee show all the time. I love First Take. I watch that a lot too as well. But now it's going to be even better every single Tuesday when you got those three icons on there all the time. Let's see. Thursday, the last week, not yesterday, but the previous Thursday, was the first game that Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce has missed due to injury since 2014. I thought that was a pretty crazy stat. This man hasn't missed a single game since 2014. And I always thought about them like, I thought he has missed some games, but nope. He hasn't missed a single game. I mean, I can understand why people took him in the first round this year, but he looks like he's doing good. He was faking people out on some story I was watching earlier where he was running and he stopped and he acted like he was grabbing his knees, like, oh no, and then he started twerking. So he's completely fine. It seems like he does have a knee brace or something like that on his right knee and whatnot. I think he's playing on Sunday, so you guys shouldn't have to worry about that too much. Bill Belichick, the Patriots executives are on edge due to head coach Bill Belichick and his longtime girlfriend Linda Holliday splitting up. Let's see. According to Daily Mail, they've been going through a drawn-out back-and-forth breakup, and they have concerns about things she may potentially post to social media. I find that very funny and concerning. What if it's like all the times that he's cheated in the NFL and he doesn't want that out, and she's just going to blast him and put it all out there for everyone to see? Maybe she talks about how they cheated in other incidences, how they actually have the proof. Like she's like a little whistleblower, man. I'm kind of intrigued by this. I'm hoping like she comes out, write a book, or something like that. Just talks about all the things that Bill Belichick did to cheat the NFL. I think that's what they're worried about the most. They don't want all that stuff come out like, oh no, we've been doing this for years. We just got caught on this stuff, man. There's a whole lot more. It could also talk about how I think Brady's in his relationship. I think that it went sour for a while. I'm pretty sure it's back now because he just went to the stadium on week 1 and was like they talked about inducting him into the Hall of Fame or the Ring of Honor, I'm sorry, for the Patriots. And that's like later on in the season, or it might be next year, I think, because I think they just want to sell out a bunch of tickets for something. So it's either this year or it's next year. And the Lions upset the Chiefs last Thursday. I thought that was pretty crazy. The Chiefs didn't look good. I think they could have ran the ball, but then their offensive line was not looking good. These wide receivers are dropping everything, especially for Kadarius Toney. But I think the Chiefs are going to bounce back. They'll figure it out. I think it usually takes a few weeks with them anyways. Just get everyone on the same page, and then boom, they're off and they're killing it. But the Lions look like they're a team to beat this year. I mean, they are looking really good. We shall see how the rest of the season portrays. But I think I'm going to start placing some bets on the Lions. I always, put some bets on the Chiefs. But yeah, Dak Prescott was knocked out and sedated for 11 hours for a tattoo. I don't think I have a video of it. I was trying to share it earlier. Let me see if it'll let me. Video file. Yep, here we go.
States in Louisiana, a moose, the nickname for his brother Jace, who died by suicide, and his late mother Peggy. He told her one day he would get a Pegasus tattoo. So there's a Pegasus.
Yep, so that was on Monday Night Football. Yeah, because they just got their ass whooped. But yeah, he got a tattoo. It took 11 hours. He got sedated for that. I mean, I don't know why you need to be getting sedated for that. Thought that was kind of silly. I know it's a lot of work, but I've seen other people not get sedated. You get some numbing cream or something, dude. I don't know. But yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty nice tattoos. 11 hours. Let's see. At this week 1, it was all 4 of the NFC South teams had different starting quarterbacks to open the season than they did in week 1 of last season. The only other division in NFL history in which every team had a different starting quarterback from one season opener to the next was 1973 against the AFC West. I mean, it was the AFC West. So just wanted to throw that stat out there. Another cool stat. Kirk Cousins' salary has been guaranteed in each of the past 8 seasons, including this one. Accounting for this season, Cousins will have made $231,469,288 and $229,369,288 of it, 99.09% has been guaranteed. So there's only $2 million out of that 231 that wasn't guaranteed, which is just mind-boggling. Taylor Lewan retired. He put this little video out for everyone to let them know. All righty, here we go.
Great career, Taylor.
Well, I'm retired.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Breaking
yay.
news.
Congrats on a great career, Taylor.
Well,
That's it. It's on Barstool. So he's retired. He's going to be doing that Barstool stuff, kind of like how Pat McAfee did. I think a lot of players are going into that type of thing. Justin Jefferson literally leveled somebody. Do I not have that? Oh, there it is. Rocks defender. Boom. I got to make sure this is muted because I ain't trying to get a copyright. Hold on.
2nd and 1.
All right. Boom. He's running. Watch this. And boom. Oh, my Lord. Just destroyed that dude's life. So there is a coach in college football named Mel Tucker. He plays for Michigan State. He's under investigation right now. He's the subject of a sexual harassment investigation. Brenda Tracy, who's a rape survivor who does advocacy work to educate athletes about sexual violence, said in a complaint that Tucker sexually harassed her. It occurred during a April 2022 phone call in which the Spartans head coach allegedly made sexual comments about Tracy and masturbated while they were on the phone. However, he said that he and Tracy had consensual phone sex. Let's see. He said the idea that someone could know me and say they understand my trauma, but then reinflict that trauma on me is so disgusting. It's hard for me to even wrap my mind around it. It's like he sought me out just to betray me. And let's see. 10 years, 95 million. We'll find out. Hopefully it's not true. I always hope that things like that aren't true. But if it is true, that is terrible that he did that. We will monitor that situation and let you know. But as right now, it's all allegedly. We will find out the truth because the truth will set you free. Browns star cornerback Denzel Ward has said that they have the NFL's best cornerback group after holding Joe Burrow to a career low in passing yards and no wide receiver clipped 40 yards. They got some weight to that conversation. I mean, Denzel Ward's one of the greater cornerbacks in the NFL. I actually just picked up their defense in fantasy. I honestly feel like they're going to go on a run here in fantasy, and it's going to help out a lot. But if they're keeping wide receivers down, man, then you just got to run the ball. But if you got linebackers to stop, like it's going to be a really good thing if you got some good lockdown corners. And if they're a good defense, man, and they're going to keep doing what they've been doing, hey, man, I'm going to love it because they got a lot of soft matchups coming up soon. I feel like they're going to be really, really good in fantasy. So I look out for those Cleveland Browns. I got them in a couple leagues. I think there might be one game I'm concerned on. Might even be the Patriots. Or not the Patriots, the Ravens. Let me see. Cleveland. Yep. Okay. So we're going against Pittsburgh this week. I feel like that's going to be a good one. They're going against Tennessee. That's not scaring me. And they have Baltimore. Okay. That's the one that might concern me. Then they have a bye. You know, I would probably drop them on week 4. And then they have a bye. And then they have San Francisco. And then they have Indianapolis, Seattle, Arizona. I mean, that's another 3 good stretch. Got Baltimore again, Pittsburgh again, and then Denver, the Rams, Jacksonville, Chicago, Houston, and the New York Jets, who's going to have Zach Wilson. So got some good matchups here. I mean, maybe the Jets, we'll see about them, depending on how they go in the season. If it's Zach Wilson starting quarterback, I'm not worried. You got Houston, who sucks, Chicago, who sucks, Jacksonville's not anything special. The Rams aren't very good. Denver's not very good. Pittsburgh's not very good. I mean, Baltimore's good, but we'll see how that goes. Arizona's not very good. That's 8 good matchups. Seattle's not. I mean, they're all right, but, we got Geno Smith over there. Indianapolis isn't very good right now. That's at least 8 to 9 matchups, plus you have Tennessee. So, you're about 10 good matchups out of Cleveland this year. So, after about week 4, I think week 4, drop them, pick them back up in that third week, and ride it out, see how it goes. I'm going for them. I really think that they're going to do something. So, Jamar Chase, he said the loss was frustrating. The one against the Cleveland Browns, I just whooped them because they got beat by some elves right before the game. He was talking smack and saying that the Cleveland Browns are elves, and now he's frustrated because they got beat by some elves. I thought that was kind of funny. Tyreek Hill had a 215-yard game and 2 touchdowns. He says he feels like nobody can guard him. I find that true. I don't think anybody in the NFL can guard him. You sure as hell shouldn't put man-to-man coverage on that man. I've been hearing about it all week that a lot of people don't like what's his name? Brandon Staley, or I think is what his name is, as the head coach. They feel like him putting his cornerbacks in one-on-one situations with Tyreek Hill was silly, and that's why he got so many yards. But hey, man, we'll see how this plays out. I mean, you don't want to keep wasting Justin Herbert's prime in his good years, or hurting his production or his progress in general in the NFL, because I mean that guy's a talented player. So I don't know, man. Sounds like Staley's on the hot seat. Dolphins quarterback Tua passed for 466 yards. The 4th most passing yards in a season opening game in NFL history. Trailing only Norm Van Brocklin, 554 yards in 1951, Tom Brady, 517 yards in 2011, and Dan Marino, 473 yards in 1994. Tyreek Hill registering that 215 yards. It was the 3rd most receiving yards in a season opening game in NFL history, trailing only Frank Clark, 241 yards in 1962, and Quan Bolden, 217 yards in 2003. Some other good stuff is Brock Purdy is the first quarterback in NFL history to win each of his first 6 career regular season starts and throw at least 2 touchdown passes in each start. Purdy also is the first quarterback in the NFL history with a passer rating of 95 or higher in each of his first career regular season starts. So the Purdy hype is real, guys. I'd actually go pick him up. Follow that trend. If he is throwing at least 2 touchdowns every single game, that's at least 12 points out of, your quarterback, not to mention the yards that he's going to be throwing for. So I'd go pick him up, man. He might not ball out and get a bunch of points, but hey, man, he's not going to hurt your team either, I don't think. I wanted to show this. This is pretty crazy how Myles Garrett just literally, here he is right here. He's literally going to move over here, and then he's going to move over to the right, and he's going to sack the quarterback. I just find this just a crazy move. He's literally showing the lineman what he's going to do right before he does it. It was a crossover. And boom. He did it twice. And then he sacked him. I just thought that was crazy. That dude's one hell of an athlete. The fact that he did that and showed him what he was going to do and he did it anyways, mind-boggling. T. Higgins and the Bengals won't talk contract during the season after apparently they lowballed him. So it sounds like T. Higgins might be a free agent after this season, and I would love for him to come over to the Colts. I'm going to keep saying every time I hear good wide receivers going on the waiver, or it might hit the waivers, I hope the Colts pick him up. For real, that would be awesome. T. Higgins is a baller. I saw some crazy things on Twitter, and I thought it was messed up. Alexander Madison, he is on the Vikings, and he was called the N-word, and a lot of people are hopping in his inbox and saying a lot of dirty things because he didn't do so well in this last game, and it's a lot of people playing fantasy. But this is what some guy said, George Fenney, saying, hey, do you know how to hold onto a gun, and saying all this crap. That's unnecessary to say. Here's another one. You stupid fucking coon. Learn how to hold on to the ball. You're paid millions, can't do shit. Team is 2-0 if Dalvin Cook is on the team. Telling him to go back to Boise State, sell cars, calling him the N-word. And then he says, if you can't do that, then kill yourself. That is just some fucked up shit. This is uncalled for. If you don't have anything nice to say, then shut the fuck up. Keep that shit to yourselves. And there's still racist people out there. Still racist people. Racism is still out there. And the fact that someone's got to say that just because they're a sorry-ass fucking team had Alexander Madison starting, and they didn't do so well, and they probably lost, and they're probably all butthurt about it. I hope they all go, they don't win any games for the rest of the season, and they lose all their money. I also hope that they get hit by a truck. Maybe they kill themselves. I don't know. I feel like that's fucked up to say, man. That is so fucked up. This world is just trash. People are trash, and I don't understand it. But sorry you're going through that, Madison. Don't listen to those motherfuckers. Just keep going out there and balling, bro. Just keep going out there and balling. Oh, I thought that was fucked up. At SoFi Stadium on Sunday, the Chargers had these fake robots or AI, not even fake robots, just robots out there. They're AI robots that were at the game as a part of our promotion for a movie that's coming out. I forgot what the name of the movie's called. I can look it up. I think. Ooh, that's gonna fall. But anyways, yeah, this is them. Let me go all the way back. Oh, the creator. That's what the movie's called. Creepy. But after I saw this, I thought of something else that could be a really, really, really cool idea. I don't think that they did this. I think they just had some fake AIs walking around and creeping people out. I would beat the fuck out of one of those things. Fuck that shit. But imagine a fan like me. I want to go to a Colts game. They have one of those AIs. Imagine if I can control the AI, I could be there without having to be there. I just say, I paid $300 for a ticket, and that's my AI. What if I could walk around with my AI and interact with him like I'm playing a video game almost, but I'm not playing a video game, and I can watch the game from the AI's point of view, or I can move down, and go do certain things, walk around the stadium, interact with people, and say hello and stuff like that, scream, doing things like that. I could see how that could go badly though, very badly. You're not there, some assholes being loud as fuck, and you're just trying to watch it. You just go up and you start punching them with the fucking AI. Oh God, I can see some dumbass shit like that happening. AI is beating the shit out of some human, but because some other guy's controlling it. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that was a terrible idea. Oh well, I thought it was cool. On Sunday. This upcoming Sunday, a cool stat is that Matthew Stafford and Brock Purdy are going against each other. I believe it's the first matchup ever where a number one overall pick versus Mr. Irrelevant quarterback are going to play against each other in NFL history. So I thought that is really neat. Baker Mayfield picked up some weird defensive signals from the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday when they were playing. Apparently he was looking over to the sideline, seeing what they're doing, and he knew exactly what they were going to do. Rashad White was talking about it on some podcast. I thought that was pretty interesting because people are always bashing Baker. I didn't think Baker was that cerebral or that, that smart or anything like that. I wasn't saying he was stupid or anything like that, but I didn't know that he could do things like that, which is pretty interesting to hear. So you always hear that he's just some tough guy, because he's always headbutting people without a helmet on. But yeah, no, apparently he was reading the defensive signals on Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings, and it was easy. He was just slaying them. So that was pretty interesting. I was like, what? No way. Okay, the NBA is approving a new resting rule. I'm going to share my screen. A new policy that a team is unable to rest 2 star players in the same game moving forward. Multiple sources tell the Athletics and the at Stadium, a star is defined as someone who has made an All-Star or an All-NBA team in the past 3 seasons. So if you made any All-Star or All-NBA team in the last 3 seasons, you're considered a star. And you can't rest 2 star players in the same game moving forward. Honestly, I don't think like any of them should rest. I mean, they didn't rest back in the day, so I don't feel like you should rest now. Those guys were playing all minutes almost and all 82 games. Excuse me. Starting next season, the NFL is expanding practice squads on all 32 teams to include at least 1 international player, helping to create more football opportunities for athletes from around the world to be identified and developed. I like that. That's pretty dope. Getting more into the international game. Colin Kaepernick, his agent reached out to the Jets after Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles on Monday. I don't know why. I don't even know why he tried. The dude's 35 years old, hasn't played since 2016. And even in 2016, when he was playing, he was not very good. So I don't know why they keep trying to go this route. I mean, before he would be a distraction. I don't think he'd be a distraction anymore. And when I say distraction, I mean he had a lot of weight coming with him to all these teams. Like he was doing something for history, and I feel like now that part of his life is sort of, or like he's still going through all that stuff and still, got like foundations and things like that. But like I don't feel like that's as big. Like I feel like if he came to any team right now, I don't feel like. I mean, people might ask him questions about it. I feel like, but they'd be asking other questions about football. I feel like more. But he just hasn't played since 2016. I just don't feel like he'd be any good whatsoever. Like even when he played, he didn't throw for like 4,000 yards in a season or 5,000. He wasn't throwing hella touchdowns in a season. He was running a lot. But there's other players, and they know how to defend that stuff really well now. So I don't know. I just don't feel like it translate well. And especially he's 35 years old. Yeah, just no. Don't even know why they even reached out. I'm going to show you a close-up play, though, of Aaron Rodgers and his Achilles and what happened. Boom, right there. We'll do it one more time. Wow. Ouch. Hopefully he gets better. He's already sounding like he's going to come back and play next season. He pretty much said that on a couple of interviews that he's done on the Pat McAfee show. But yeah, coming back next season. He might come back this season. He's talking like he's going to do some things that he's never done before. And maybe that could be coming back for the playoffs, maybe playing the Super Bowl. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it sucks, man. Like all that hype this season, he only got to play 4 plays and then he tore his ACL. So like we can never actually see what could have been, and that affects so many fantasy players: Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, all the other guys that they got on that squad. So Zach Wilson's really going to have to step up this season and go at it. So we'll see how that plays out, and they see if he maybe learned a thing or two sitting behind Aaron Rodgers during the preseason. I feel like Aaron Rodgers does coach and help people, players play a little bit better than what they would have done. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Well, even after that happened, Packers David Bakhtiari, he was ripping the NFL for the artificial turf. Everybody knows about MetLife Stadium, though. Like I feel like they should change theirs because I hear about so many injuries over there all the time. But there's not any proof that the turf is the problem, essentially. Like it does contribute to injuries, but you get the same type of injuries on grass too as well. But everyone has been trying to call this for a while. I think a lot of players prefer to play on grass. Some players just don't give a shit. Like Michael Parsons said he'd play on concrete if he could. Dude's young though. Yeah, just I don't know, but I do know that MetLife needs to change their ground. Theirs is probably the worst. I see a lot of injuries happen at that field. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was the DraftKings. They had a promotion on 9/11, and it was called a Never Forget 9/11 Parlay. And they announced about it. And then they had to take it down and issue a statement for and apologizing for it, and said, "We are sincerely." We sincerely apologize for the featured parlay that was briefly in commemoration of 9/11. We respect the significance of this day for our country and especially for the families of those who were directly affected. I don't know how this idea got through everyone at DraftKings without obviously realizing how bad it was. So essentially, they all thought it was a great idea. Let's have a 9/11 promo, but no one thought like, oh, wow, like you're really trying to make profit off of 9/11 in general, like crazy, just crazy. And then they had an issue apology for that. I just thought that was baffling. I'm like, when I saw that there was a promo, I was like, is there really a 9/11 promo? Like, this isn't a holiday. This is just the day that we're like, what? This ain't like the 4th of July. I was baffled. That's all I got for the day, guys. I do appreciate you guys listening and watching. I believe the next time I might have a show, because I'm going to have to start changing this stuff up and do it on my off days. It's probably going to be on Wednesday, the 27th is when I do another show. So until then, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like below.